why don't you get comfortable in your seats and, yeah. Why don't we all take a nice deep healing breath in, and as we exhale, let it go down and out to the bottoms of our toes, and another deep breath in, and as we exhale, let that energy go down into the mother. And as you're comfortable in your seats, you can close your eyes or lower your gaze or leave them open, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Allow your spine to rise naturally and let your shoulders soften. Take another slow, deep breath in and a long, easy breath out. Let's do that again. Slow, deep breath in. Long, easy breath out. As your awareness settles gently into this moment, begin by bringing your attention to the idea of right relationship. In true spiritual economics, every exchange of time, resources, or energy is rooted in harmony and integrity. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in a sense of alignment. As you breathe out, release anything that feels out of balance. We're going to breathe in and draw in the sense of alignment, being in the flow. Breathing out and releasing anything that doesn't feel like alignment. Now we're going to bring our mind to the principle of circulation. All prosperity is flow. Nothing is meant to be grasped tightly or withheld in fear. With your next inhale, imagine the universe breathing into you. Breathing into you abundance, creativity, and opportunity. And as you exhale, imagine yourself contributing effortlessly to the river of good that moves through all beings. Feel yourself becoming both a giver and receiver in the great law of circulation, the circulation of life. Now we're going to shift our attention to gratitude. Gratitude is the spiritual magnet that draws more good. Silently name 3 blessings in your life, large or small. Let each one expand like a warm light in your chest. Naming those 3 blessings, large or small. Notice how your energy lifts and softens as you acknowledge the good that is already there. Now we're going to contemplate sufficiency. In spiritual economics, sufficiency doesn't mean just enough. It means I am enough, I have enough, and more is always flowing towards me, to me, through me, and as me. Just breathe now into the quiet confidence of sufficiency. Any anxiety about money, time, or resources melt from your shoulders, your mind, and your heart. As you let yourself rest in the feeling that the universe is abundant and generous, and you are included in that generosity. going to go into the principle of fair exchange. Sense yourself offering your gifts, your skills, your presence in a way that feels authentic and especially joyous. See these offerings being received with appreciation and enthusiasm. And see yourself receiving in return support, compensation, love, and acknowledgement. Feel the balance of giving and receiving as a joyful, sacred dance. Ooh. Dancing. Enjoy. We're going to take one more deep inhale and a slow, peaceful exhale. And affirm silently with me. I live in harmony with the spiritual laws of prosperity. I give with joy, I receive with gratitude, and I trust the generous flow of life. We're going to gently bring our awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Are we back? Hi. As you know, my name is Reverend Faerie Elaine Silver, and I'm here today to talk about spiritual economics through song. And we're gonna have poetry too. So this program for me was inspired about a year and a half ago. I took the class called Spiritual Economics, and it was based on the published 1993 book by the well-known spiritual leader Eric Butterworth. Is anybody here familiar with Eric Butterworth? Yes. Spiritual Economics. There's the book. And I used to go to Lincoln Center. You know, I'm from New Jersey originally. I used to go to Lincoln Center in New York City, and from time to time, beginning in the mid-'70s, and it was like a happening on Sunday mornings with hundreds and hundreds of people filing in to witness the sweet genius of Eric Butterworth. My friend Rebecca took me there. And I took a version of this course, Spiritual Economics, more than 20 years ago. It was through the Center for Conscious Living in Clearwater. It was the Church of Religious Science there. And when I went to take the course again about a year and a half ago, here was the book. This is the same copy of the book. It was on my shelf for all those years, and it's in really good shape. And so, even though this is the exact same copy of the book, there's different stuff in here than that was in here the first time I took the course. You know, this is an example of when the student is ready, the teachings or the teacher appears, right? And when I first, I opened it and there were some things underlined, but now like almost every page has yellow, with the marker. So, I was so taken by this book that it took me hours and hours to get through it, because in the last, say, 3 or 4 years, I've become a haiku poet. And I wrote about 400 poems around just doing my homework and just being so inspired. So I'd have to stop to write a poem. And so what I wanted to do is talk about, there's lots of principles and ideas in this book, but I picked about 5 of my favorite ones. I mean, I could probably do volume 2 on this. So the first idea is God is everywhere present. Can we say that? God is everywhere, everywhere, right? Okay. This is a major principle in New Thought philosophy. Not only is God everywhere present and in everything, it is everything. Everything is made of the same substance, essence, and presence. And it expresses as individual beings and things. It's all God. You've heard that, right? It's all God. And it's just an individualizing expression or extension of that energy. And what is really cool for me, this principle, I love this because, spirit is everywhere present, but in the spiritual world, it doesn't have this. It's the same substance in a different form, but we all have the form of a human body. We have a body. And so this is where we get to express for spirit, for God. Like God gets to hear and see and taste and touch and feel through us, right? And I love that. So we uniquely express being human for God by means of us. So I have a couple of poems here. Do you know what haiku is? Everybody know what it is? If you don't, I'll explain it. It's poetry or prose, and it's 3 lines, and the first line has 5 syllables, and the second line has 7 syllables, and the third line has 5 syllables. So I call it the 5-7-5. And it doesn't have to rhyme or anything, but to have that discipline of having to put the ideas into the form it's really wonderful. It's good for your brain. So I have one life coursing through, a divine appointment in human consciousness. The good I'm seeking is my God. God is my life, health, strength, and support. And so I'm going to read a little bit from the book, page 36. Ooh, okay. Now this is, of course, by Eric Butterworth. So he says, quote, "Your personal welfare begins with your consciousness. It is not what happens on Wall Street. It is not the state of the economy. It has its inception in the state of your mind. You can be prosperous when business is poor, and you can experience financial difficulties even when business is booming. Consider, if you will, the responsibility you have towards conditions as a whole. For what happens in your mind and is reflected in your affairs will have a definite, even if minuscule, influence upon the nation's business. There is no way out. You are always on the side of the problem, or you are on the side of the solution." And he says, by your thinking, you are either adding to your good or you are taking away from it. The law is inexorable. Failure or lack in your life is simply the result of continuously minusing yourself. And conversely, success and prosperity are the results of constantly plussing yourself. It's wise to take inventory occasionally. Are you dealing in minuses or pluses? It is that simple. Your negative thoughts of fear and worry are depleting your good faster than inflation erodes the value of the dollar. And your positive, optimistic thoughts add to your good more dramatically than compound interest increases your bank savings. So, remember the song? It was a Billie Holiday song, and I had no idea what she was talking about, but I used to sing this. Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. So now I know what she was talking about because of this book. So this is a statement. Jesus declared this truth in a statement that has been extremely controversial. He said, quote, "For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, but from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath." And what that means is, I mean, it doesn't sound very fair, does it? But it's all a matter of how we're feeling and thinking, what we're thinking, how we're feeling about it. And Jesus' statement puts into symbolic language the kind of orderly law upon which the whole universe is constructed. You are constantly attracting to you the conditions you make inevitable by the quality of your thoughts. And so, my friend Rebecca that I mentioned, I met her in the S training back in 1976, and we graduated in early April, and then we had Easter, and she brought me to Unity and introduced me to the teachings of Eric Butterworth, and I have met him a few times, and it's a very nice man. But, and here I am, you know, I'm in my early 20s, and I'm just starting to become a professional musician, and so one time I was kind of complaining about, oh, I'm so poor. And she goes, never say you're poor. Because she knew what Eric taught. Never say you're poor. You could say you're broke, but poor is a state of mind. I mean, there are people who are millionaires and billionaires, we probably know of a few of those, who are, they're depleted in their humanity and their way of being. It's just, they're poor. And I love that distinction. I've used it ever since the early 70s, or mid-70s. So here's a quote by Eric Butterworth. It's a sin to be poor. He said that, not me. So I have a haiku poem for you. I may have been broke, but I have never been poor. Conscious awareness. So I have a song about that. And it's called In the Universal Realm. I think, you know, I sent the lyrics, so you have all the lyrics of the song, so you can sing along if you'd like, or you can just read along if you want, and in the universal realm. Here it is, okay. And it's like a kirtan style. You know what kirtan? Kirtan or kirtan, but really it's kirtan. It's a Sanskrit word, and it's a word, language of vibration. So the way you pronounce it is important. Anyway, I'm going to sing the first verse, and then we'll sing it together. So it'll be a call and response. In the universal realm. In the universal realm where we live and have our being, the whole of spirit is present everywhere. In the universal realm where we live and have our being, the whole of spirit is present everywhere. Oh, and again. I may have been broke, but I've never been poor. I rely on spirit, it's my inner jewel. I may have been broke, but I've never been poor. I rely on spirit, it's my inner jewel. True prosperity for you and me. When we open up, we see that we are free. God works through eternity, not doing for me, but as me. In the universal realm where we live and have our being, the whole of spirit is present everywhere. In the universal realm where we live and have our being, the whole of spirit is present everywhere. I may have been broke, but I've never been poor. I rely on spirit, it's my inner jewel. True prosperity for you and me. When we open up, we see that we are free. For God within is always there. Look inside and know it's right here. Okay, beautiful job. So we're going to go on to a second idea. Idea number 2. But first, hold on. It's the principle of abundance. We live in an abundant and giving universe. Just look at how nature is constantly giving of itself. I like the example of an oak tree. I mean, I have a huge oak tree in my backyard. And, that giant oak tree, the circumference is probably, or the diameter is probably almost, not quite, maybe a little more than half of this. I mean, the thing is huge. And that tree started out as an acorn this big. How does that happen? How does an acorn turn into a gigantic, whatever it is, tree, a gigantic tree? It's huge. It weighs tons from this. And every year it gives off hundreds, who knows, maybe 1,000 acorns. And each one of those acorns has the potential to become a gigantic oak tree. So how does it happen? I mean, it's so magical, but it actually gives me a visceral sense of this giving of nature. It's constantly giving, and that's the universe, giving and saying yes. So with this, I get a concept of sort of infinity. You know how it just keeps infinite. And prosperity is a way of thinking and being. It's not something we get. The word affluence literally means an abundant flow, fluency, affluence. So here's a haiku. The economy is just a barometer of our consciousness. Now here's directly from Eric Butterworth from this book. Quote, "The kingdom that is within you, which is your very own inlet, may become an outlet to all there is in God. Claim your inheritance of abundance. You are entitled to the support of God, the substance and everything to which you give your mind or hand." I love this. Let go of the belief in the grace of poverty and the subconscious sense of guilt in having things. Along with the feeling of unworthiness, these attitudes have such a detrimental influence upon human consciousness. Claim your inheritance. Eric Butterworth. So here's a couple more poems. I'm rich in spirit by reason of spiritual inheritance, yes. And the wheel of fortune is the ever-present God. It's an inside job. One more. Living a charmed life, knowing I deserve it all, spirit then responds. Our belief is such a powerful tool. And if you don't quite believe it, just keep telling yourself, because a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. I deserve. I am open to receiving. I used to say all the time, no, most of the time, a lot of the time. I don't like these, when you say all or nothing or always and never. What are those? They're absolutes. So I used to say a lot. I'm open to receiving. I'm open to receiving. And somebody pointed out to me, you better be careful about saying that, because you could just attract stuff you don't want. So I'm open to receiving my good. I think that's a good one to start with. So I'm going to move on now to idea number 3. Your fortune begins with you. How about saying, my fortune begins with me?
My fortune begins with me.
Our point of power is always where? In the present moment, right? In the here and now. This is where we are free to make the choices that support or deny our desires. Conscious awareness is key. This is being conscious of what we're thinking and feeling. Like, how does it feel to say, I'm open to receiving my good? Bring it on, Spirit, bring it on. Sometimes, let's see, I know what it is. Thoughts create feelings. Did you ever hear somebody say, a feeling just came over me? And it's like, no, it didn't. Because feelings are created by the mind. And even if it's an unconscious thought or belief, that's where it starts. It starts in the mental. So these feelings are caused by our beliefs, which are often unconscious beliefs. And according to Abraham Hicks, anybody here familiar with them? Yeah. A belief is just a thought we keep thinking. It could be a lie or a truth we keep hearing. You hear it enough, you start to believe it. Find better feeling thoughts. They can become manifestations. So I have a song called Thoughts Become Things, and it goes like this. You can sing along if you want to. Summer into fall, winter into spring, listen to the call, the thoughts become things, thoughts become things, I let my wishes ring, I'm awakening, the pendulum swings, the thoughts becoming things, the blessings they can bring, aware that I'm aware, my thinking is a prayer, my thinking is a prayer, my thinking is a prayer, thoughts become things. My wishes sing. I'm affirming now, God's declaring how, each and every hour I tap into the power of universal law. It brings a state of awe, the magic of the mind is out of space and time, out of space and time, out of space and time. I'm opening, I'm awakening. Thoughts become things, the pleasures they can bring, the treasures of a king. I am one with everything, I am one with everything, I am one with everything, I am one with everything. Summer into fall, winter into spring, listen to the call, the thoughts become things, 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 thoughts become things. Choose good ones. Yeah. All right. We're going to move on to idea number 4. In the flow of God and a giving spirit. Let's say in the flow of God, giving spirit. In the flow of God, giving spirit. So, this is a very good distinction. Quote, the goal should not be to make money or acquire things, but to achieve the consciousness through which the substance flows forth when and as you need it. End quote. Eric Butterworth. So, he talks about electricity is an invisible current. It's a force of nature. It's a force that makes that acorn turn into a giant tree. So I have some more haiku poems here. Electric current is invisible to us. We can't deny it. And money or affluence doesn't have to be in form. It is also an invisible force. That's why it's called currency. You ever think about that? Money is currency. It doesn't have to be paper or gold or silver or whatever they make it out of these days. Here's some more haiku. Handle currency with a joyous attitude to get in the flow. So, to have that attitude, like, I'm so happy I'm spending money. I trust the allness of infinite supply. Spirit is my source. Here in a nutshell, giving way to divine flow is in consciousness. It's not what we are giving to, it's what we are truly giving from. And this giving that Butterworth writes about is about us giving from our divine essence. And we can't outgive God. For money is God in action. It is a flow. And when the flow is blocked, something's got to give. And he says, just start giving to give. Begin the flow. The universal law of circulation. I have a song called Something's Gotta Give. Okay. It says not too fast. And it's kind of like a metaphysical Buddy Holly song that I made up. Who remembers Buddy Holly? Yeah. Okay. Something's gotta give if we truly wanna live in a world where we all grow. Something's gotta give if we truly wanna live in a sacred, abundant flow. Giving of itself is the universal start, creating a perfect setting. What I gotta give comes straight from my heart. It is love and light and blessing. Something's gotta give if we truly wanna live in a world where we all grow. Something's gotta give if we truly wanna live in a sacred, abundant flow. Giving of itself is a universal start, creating the perfect setting. What I gotta give comes straight from my heart. It is love and light and blessing. Something's gotta give if we truly wanna live in a world where we all grow. Something's gotta give if we truly wanna live in a sacred, abundant flow. In a sacred, abundant flow. In a sacred, abundant flow. In an abundant flow. Okay, thanks for singing along with me. So we're going to move on to idea number 5. Getting funner and funner. Okay, so let me see. Here's distinctions in the tithing practice. Okay, so I'm supposed to read from page 180. Hold on. Just a little bit here. So I just want to remind everybody before I tell you the truth about tithing that it's an excellent practice that we strongly recommend to anyone who is seeking to change his or her life from indigence to affluence. Okay. And so from there are these distinctions, and so there's number 1, if we give to get, this is not real giving. 2, the history of the tithe, which translates to the word 10, is a giving of 10% of income, crops, or whatever is earned or accumulated. It was a requirement, and some people guilty of not giving their full share were put to death. Right? So the idea of, quote, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men, women give unto your bosom, and for with the same measure that you meet it, it shall be measured to you again. You've all heard that, right? All right. So for me, once I heard that tithing was originally a requirement, I upped my monthly gift by 50% to my center. I had been thinking about doing it, and I just didn't get around to it. And, you know, it just comes out of the bank. And it just I have nothing to do with it except that I set it into motion. I don't miss it. It's just it goes. And I wanted to come from a place of giving attitude, and I've been consciously more generous with things like tipping and sharing, and I'm reminding myself, be generous. And so, how many people here buy lottery tickets? You can admit it, I do, every week. I spend $6 a week. I just buy the lotto, which is just have always had these numbers, the same numbers. So I just use the same numbers, and I buy a double ticket for Wednesday and a double ticket for Saturday. And I do it every week because when I think about what will I do when I win, it makes me feel good. I get, oh yeah, I'll help the church, I'll do this, we'll pay this off, we'll help. And it makes me feel good. It raises my vibratory rate. And so the other side of that is, well, what if I don't win? Well, if I don't win, then I get to give about $300 a year to education in Florida. I'm happy to do that. And it's fun for me because I go, sometimes I don't know if I won or not. I always check. Like at 2 o'clock this morning, I'm checking my phone. So did I win? Because I always know my numbers. And so if I hadn't checked, then I go in, and if it's a winning lottery ticket, even if you just win another ticket, the machine goes, da 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 da, and I'm going like, da, 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 da. People around me think I'm this crazy lady, and I don't care. You know, here's another spiritual principle. What you think of me is none of my business. And it makes some people feel good, some people judge me. I don't care. They could do whatever they want. So I wrote this song called Lottery Ticket. It's just a short little song. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, I am a winner. I am a winner. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, my heart's a glimmer. My heart's a glimmer. My vibration's risen and it's given me such a feeling. A realization, transformation's healing. Oh yes, it's healing. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, I am a winner. I am a winner. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, my heart's a glimmer. My heart's a glimmer. And so it is. Okay. Now we're going to move on. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh yes, This is my favorite idea or principle or whatever in the book. And it's the idea of green side up. Can you say that? Green side up. So when we look at our paper money, here's the money, right? See how the front side it's green, right? But the back side is really green. See the comparison, how much greener this is than this? And so the idea is, when you give somebody money, give it to them green side up, because right here it says, in God we trust. So when you hand somebody money, it reminds you to bless the money and bless the person getting it. I love that. So right after I read that part, I was in the Circle K getting a cup of coffee, right? And nobody else was in the store, and I said, when I was paying with cash, I said, oh, I just learned this thing. And I told her, I said, no. And I blessed the money and I blessed the person and I'm giving it to him. She goes, oh, I needed to hear that. You know, it's just one of those acts of kindness. And I did the same thing later on in a delicatessen in New Jersey that summer. But let me see, did I tell you everything? Yeah, we blessed the money. Okay, so I have a song called Green Side Up. So your part goes like this. And remember, I told you I'm from a nursery school, right? Silverland was my mom's school. So the chorus goes like this. Green side up when you put your money down. You don't have to look. You can, okay. So go, because we have we're going to do a hand dance. Green side, come on, everybody. Green side up when you put your money down. Green side up when you pass it around. Green side up when you're paying for your stuff. Green side up, it says, in God we trust. Let's try it together. Green side up when you put your money down. Green side up when you pass it around. Green side up when you're paying for your stuff. Green side up, it says, in God we trust. All the paper money in America has a message for each one of us. All the paper money in America has the message, in God we trust. And you know what? All the coins have it too. Here we go. Green side up when you put your money down. Green side up when you pass it around. Green side up when you're paying for your stuff. Green side up, it says, in God we trust. There's a blessing to the person you hand the money to. There's a blessing that comes back to you. All the paper money in America has a message for each one of us. All the paper money in America has the message in God we... Right, come on. Green side up when you put your money down. Green side up when you pass it around. Green side up when you're paying for your stuff. Green side up, it says, in God we trust. Green side up, it says, in God we trust. Green side up, it says, in God we trust. So it is. Thank you so much. Okay.
Light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God